Look in the mirror, you see that weak jawline, that receding chin. You probably blame your parents. You think it's just a bad roll of the genetic dice. But here is the uncomfortable reality. You're likely doing this to yourself. Your skull was designed to grow forward, broad, and strong, but because you spend half your life sitting with your jaw hanging open, staring at a screen like a stunned goldfish, you're actively collapsing your own facial skeleton. Then Stig and I spend way too much time analyzing biological systems, far more complex than anything you've ever seen. These systems weren't thrown together by accident. They were engineered with a level of precision that should honestly embarrass you. And yet somehow, you primates still manage to completely ignore how they work. If you're tired of snoring, looking constantly exhausted, and watching your jawline vanish into your neck, and you want the cold, hard scientific reality without the comforting lies, hit the subscribe button. Let's get this over with. Let's talk about biological scaffolding. The roof of your mouth, the palate, is also the floor of your nasal cavity. When you breathe through your nose with your mouth closed, your tongue naturally rests flat against the roof of your mouth. It exerts pounds of constant upward pressure against your maxilla, the massive bone that makes up your upper jaw and midface. When you keep your mouth closed and your tongue glued to the roof of your mouth, it acts as a structural pillar holding up the architecture of your face. See, biological architecture reinforces itself when you apply the correct, consistent upward pressure. Funny enough, this channel works the same way. Every like, every subscriber is basically a unit of structural support. The more it gets, the sharper and more structurally sound the content becomes. Just something to consider while your mid-face literally melts downward because you can't be bothered to use your nose. Now, your tiny monkey brain might be thinking, air is air. Who cares what hole it goes into? I care because the designer of this machine didn't build your nose just to hold up your sunglasses. Your nasal cavity is an incredibly complex, labyrinth-like air purification and conditioning plant. When you pull air through your nose, it gets filtered, pressurized, and heated to your exact body temperature before it ever touches your delicate lungs. Even more astoundingly, the pure nasal sinuses produce a massive amount of a magical little gas called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a potent vasodilator. When you breathe through your nose, that gas gets carried into your lungs, causing your blood vessels to open up and aggressively absorb oxygen. When you bypass the nose and breathe through your mouth, you completely miss out on that nitric oxide. You are effectively starving your brain and body of up to 20% of its oxygen uptake capacity. You're running a high-performance engine on low-grade fuel and wondering why you have chronic brain fog. But let's get back to your collapsing face. When you open your mouth to breathe, the tongue drops from the roof of the mouth. The scaffolding is removed. Suddenly, the maxilla has no internal support. At the same time, the muscles in your cheeks pull tight across your face to keep your mouth open, acting like a constricting rubber band around your upper jaw. Ever heard of Wolff's Law? It states that bone models and adapts to the physical stress placed upon it. It's baser biology, viewer. Even a first-year med student knows this. Without the outward pressure of the tongue and with the inward crushing pressure of the cheeks, your upper jaw begins to narrow. As it narrows, the roof of your mouth pushes upward, literally shrinking your nasal cavity. Because the jaw can't grow forward, it grows downward. Your face elongates, your cheekbones flatten, your airway shrinks, setting you up for a lifetime of sleep apnea, snoring, and chronic fatigue. The manual existed long before the science caught up to it. Whoever engineered this gave you a respiratory system that operates in flawless equilibrium. It wasn't designed to fail, you're just not following the manual. You're using an emergency backup valve, the mouth, as your primary intake. Your body was built better than you deserve, and you're actively working against it. You dry out your oral microbiome, basically starving the tiny worker civilization that protects your teeth from rotting. You tilt your head forward just to keep your collapsing airway open, ruining your neck posture. It is a stunning cascade of structural failure, all caused by one lazy habit. Look, I can't come to your house and physically wire your jaw shut, but if you want to stop dismantling your own skull, you have to follow the specifications first. Fix your tongue posture. Close your lips. Your teeth should be lightly touching or slightly apart. Take the entire body of your tongue, especially the back third, and suction it flat against the roof of your mouth. It will feel exhausting at first because your tongue is a weak, neglected muscle. Train it. Second, tape your mouth at night. Buy a roll of porous medical tape and put a small piece over your lips when you go to bed. You're unconscious for a third of your life. If your mouth falls open while you sleep, you're doing 8 hours of structural damage to your face every single night. Force the system to use the designated hardware. Third, Third, stand up straight. Your airway, your neck posture, and your jaw are all connected. When you fix your posture, you naturally open up the airway, making nasal breathing easier. You possess a staggering, self-repairing organic machine designed by a mathematical genius upstairs. It was built to heal, to adapt, and to function flawlessly under the correct inputs. It was not built to gasp for air like a dying carp. Close your mouth. Respect the engineering. Class dismissed.